Hi, this is Paco Calviño from UPC. This is the first video on the basic concepts on PBL. Here we give a basic definition of PBL.
So what's PBL? It is a learning process that occurs as a result of the effort made by the students to carry out the project. The project is a challenge that students face on the first days of the course when they still don't have the needed knowledge. The challenge comes first, and then the training process is organized around their learning needs. Hence, it is not about giving them all the information in advance and then confronting them with the project to see if they can solve it. Of course, that works too. We all know very well how it works. But PBL is different. It is another way of working. It is the other way around. We start with the challenge and then the required learning will come. We call it just-in-time teaching. That is, I will give you the information when you need it, when you are at the right moment, when you have clear what you need, and therefore you appreciate the relevance of what you learn. This is very different to more traditional training, to just-in-case teaching. That is, I teach this, and you will see how useful it is when you become older. I provide you with the knowledge just in case you need it. Most of the times, the students don't know why you are teaching a particular topic. They do not have the application context. And the only thing they can do is accumulate information until they need it one day, if they are lucky enough on the day of the exam. PBL is a major transformation of the process, and that has many consequences. In this situation, a project must be understood as a task that yields to a potentially sellable product. We all know what an engineering project or an architectural project is, but our vision should be a little bit more general. Any task that ends up with a potentially sellable product can be turned into a project. What does sellable product mean? It means that our students could easily imagine earning a living out of these products. That's the meaning of sellable. That means interesting to the market or commercial. Of course, this could be considered as a too mercantile vision of education. It could be seen as if the main objective of higher education is to train graduates just to earn money. Well, I personally believe that the majority of our students expect to be able to make a living with what they learn from us. Therefore, I do not feel uncomfortable with this mercantile vision. In any case, it will be totally all right to change potentially sellable by potentially valuable. It is that the product can have the value of improving our work. I suppose that no one can be against the objective that our students make potentially valuable products, not because they are sellable, but because they can help to make the world better. The word potentially refers to the fact that the product doesn't have to have the best quality. Maybe because the students are still in their first years of study. For example, a few years ago, in the first year of aerospace system engineering, a project was proposed consisting of developing a computer program to help with air navigation. The students felt so satisfied with their projects that some went to see the teachers at the end of the course and told them, do you think we could sell this program to AENA? By the way, AENA is a state-owned company that manages most airports in Spain. Teachers told the students how pleased they felt about that aspiration. It means that students were really proud of what they have done. In any case, the teachers told them to wait for a little, wait until they were in the last years of their studies, so that the product could be much improved and therefore it could be selling at a better price. The teachers liked the students' ambition. It showed that the pride of having done something worthwhile. I don't really know about you, but it has never happened to me that students propose to sell their exam results nor their lab reports. Let's see an example of potentially sellable in a non-technical field. Once in a training workshop on PBL, we asked the participants, what could be a potentially sellable product in your subject? There was a group of history teachers there. They look a little bit confused. And at the end they say, man, this is very easy in computer science, in engineering, but historians, we do not do projects. We're a bit blocked. We don't know how to proceed. Well, I didn't know what to say to them. But at the end I say, let's see, why don't you warm up your brains a little further? Use a little imagination. After 20 minutes, they raise their hands and say, oh, we have it. We have already thought about what our potentially sellable product could be. I asked them, what would it be? Look, it would be an MP3 file to serve as an audio guide for a visit to the Burgos Cathedral. Visitors will listen to the audio, which will give them directions for the tour, interesting facts on each observation point, etc. For this, students will have to learn what the highest quality content is. They even may have to choose music from that historical period. And in addition, we can establish quality criteria such as that it doesn't last longer than X minutes, minutes, that the voice is clear, that makes the listener smile at least twice. Oh, great, perfect, a potentially sellable product. But are you sure this could be sold? I was really a little bit skeptical. One of them say, of course, I'm a friend of the bishop, and he is a tech enthusiast. He will buy it for sure, right away. So, there was a potentially sellable product in their field, and the best of it was that they were very proud of their project.